This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. Now, today we are going to be stepping into the fascinating world where storytelling, technology, faith, and innovation all come together on the big screen. My guests are two pioneers from Baylor University's Film and Digital Media Department, Carbonara and Michael F. Korpi. Dr. Korpi, and together these two internationally respected educators and researchers have helped shape the future of digital cinema, high-definition television, immersive storytelling, virtual reality, and now groundbreaking advances in color science. That's what I really want to talk first with the two of you about. This work is taking you from Hollywood studios and Sony's earliest HGTV innovations to major collaborations with organizations like SMPTE. You're going to have to tell me what that is.
Sure.
And the FCC and the Advanced Imaging Society. So many awards that you've received and in this groundbreaking technology. But let's start a little bit about the two of you. So, Corey, let's start with you. Growing up in Chicago in the 1960s, what first sparked your interest in filmmaking and storytelling?
Oh, this is a vivid memory for me. My parents were wonderful in taking me to the theater, motion picture theater, all the time. And we had some great palaces in Chicago. And we never just went to the corner theater, It always was downtown Chicago, either the Chicago Theater or the McVickers, for example. And the McVickers was really an interesting place because this is where a lot of the blockbusters that were coming out in the early 1960s would land on the screen, 60 feet, across and, just as vivid as can be. So one of the memorable things for me was Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, yeah.
And to see that, 60 foot wide.
Oh, my word.
To be in a situation where, as a young person, I just was mesmerized by what I saw on the screen, by the incredible cinematography, by the incredible direction and performances, Peter O'Toole, Omar Sharif. I mean, they were just amazing. And so I thought right away, I would really like to do this. And that was really the start for me, of actually having that seed of getting involved in film and then now digital media.
Yeah. Mike, ask you the same thing. When did this spark kind of happen in you?
Yeah, it's a little more complicated for me. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was in high school. I'd applied to MIT and Georgia Tech and Caltech and wanted to do aerospace engineering. And then my last semester in high school, I just decided I was interested in too many other things that I didn't want to. I knew that would take all my time, and I wasn't sure I decided to do that. So I went to the community college for a semester, went to the University of Wisconsin for the next semester, and then my grandfather told me about a little Baptist preacher in Lynchburg, Virginia, who had started a college, a couple hundred students. He said, why don't you go figure out what God wants you to do for a year? So I went to what's now Liberty University when it was 300 students.
Wow, and Liberty is huge now. It's a major university.
Yeah, very big now.
Yeah.
And I was an English major, history minor.
So interested in stories.
Yes.
Really, because that's what history is.
And my roommate and I got interested in films and just read about it in books, but there wasn't much current information. And somebody showed us an American Cinematographer magazine, and it was just mind-blowing. And Corey and I are now associate members of the American Society of Cinematographers. We're the only two educators ever to be allowed into that group.
Yeah, we're really blessed. It's a humbling experience.
That's amazing.
So we were interested in documentaries. And that's how I got interested in film. We just started doing them on our own. We talked a mission agency into letting us do a documentary for them, and they never asked us if we had done one before.
Right. Do you know how to do this?
We read about it in the magazine, and we knew where to rent the equipment and where to process the film.
Hey,
and there we
just
go.
Go
I
for it.
started doing documentaries.
And which one was that? Which documentary was that?
It was after the earthquake in Guatemala
Okay.
in 1975. And then we went down there for 2 months, did that. Anyway, that led to me going to the University of Iowa, because their film program, you could do documentaries, and I wasn't interested in the Hollywood stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I went to the University of Iowa. And then 2 years after that, I decided to do the PhD program, and Korpi was there in the PhD program too. So we met at the University of Iowa. And then Korpi got sick and had to drop out of the program.
I did.
I finished the PhD, came to Baylor, and Korpi they'd healed him. The University of Chicago Hospital had fixed him up, and he was working at Caterpillar. And I called him. My first semester at Baylor.
Yeah. What year was that?
1982.
Oh, okay.
1982. I called him up and said, "Hey, this is really interesting down here. We can totally build this program, because it needs to be rebuilt." And so he came in.
Yes, it did. Because I graduated in 75, radio, TV, and my husband says that there should be a law against my degree. So, yeah, you guys were revolutionary when you
Korpi
came to Baylor to that department.
He came the very next semester.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided Baylor's a great school, and Waco's a wonderful place to live.
Yeah.
But in terms of the communication business, film, television, it's nowhere.
Yeah.
And so we decided
things are different now.
We need to get involved in the industry groups.
Yeah.
Not the academic groups, because that way we'll get contacts at the studios, at the networks, and so on.
And then for your students, there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing that we can do is new technology, because they're just talking about it. We don't have to have it. Nobody has it yet. It's new. And so we got on the high definition television committee.
Oh, yeah.
1983.
That changed my world in local television when those HD cameras came in.
Yeah,
oh man, any stray hair was just like it was so different. But I have to say, Korpi, it was a long time ago at Channel 25. I was doing an interview show.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what year it was, but it was a long time ago. And you said, "Ann, someday you will wear on your wrist, it will be a watch like Dick Tracy, like he could talk, and it will be like a computer on your wrist." I went, "Nah, really?" Here we go.
Well,
you were always years ahead of what was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the mantra, for Michael and I, is recognizing that, one, we're interested in new technology to begin with, but recognizing that was going to be an entree for us. Being nestled in Waco, Texas, we needed to have a way to leverage everything. And so you mentioned about the SMPTE.
Yeah.
So
what does that stand for?
The actual working group on high definition electronic production that Michael was talking about was part of the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers.
I got you.
And so, Baylor was very responsive to allow us to travel. And literally every month I would, be on a plane to make sure that once a month I was on that committee. And, I've got to give Baylor a lot of credit for doing that. We had a wonderful, dean at the time that did that for us. And
the main purpose, it wasn't just for us to do research. It was to leverage our graduates and our students for internships when they got out, so that people in the industry would know about Baylor.
Yeah.
And they'd associate that, with these students coming in, and that they would know about HDTV or nonlinear editing on the computer, things like that.
Yeah, well, one of the main things too, which was very fascinating, was both Michael and I had experience in filmmaking, but we also had experience in video. So that, I think, was the combination that they were looking for, for folks who did that. Prior to Caterpillar, I worked for Editel, which was owned by Columbia Pictures in Chicago. And so that particular place did hundreds of commercials, primetime commercials, every year. And, it was a facility where we would bring the film back, we'd have it developed, we would then move it to video, create wonderful spots, commercials with it. So, going in, it was really important to them that there were people and representatives that had both film, and TV, right? And so that was helping us, I think, at that point to establish those relationships with the companies and with the studios.
How would you describe your collaborative relationship over the years?
Oh, well, I don't.
We're laughing.
I don't know. Corey's the excited, happy Italian, and I'm the reserved Finnish.
Little stoic, maybe.
People in Finland, when they told them they had to be 6 feet apart in Finland, they said, "Why so close?" So we do a little bit of that. One of my favorite things at Baylor was when we would team teach a new technology class,
which was so much fun.
And
I'll bet.
we would harass each other back and forth and insult each other and
I bet the students were scratching their heads.
They
right?
were scratching their heads.
Mystified.
Yeah.
They were
These guys.
They were like, "What's the matter?"
Well, the most fun for me was, do you know what he just said to Dr. Korpi? Nobody talks to Dr. Korpi like that. I hope he makes it to the next class.
That's right. He's going to get fired. He's going to get fired. Well, you mentioned the HD TV curriculum. So Baylor was the first university to have that curriculum in 1989. At the time, did people realize how revolutionary it was?
Yeah, I mean, it was just starting to really be known by the public. I had left Baylor actually for a little bit over a year and became the first product manager in charge of high definition television, for Sony. And so that brought us, into the Hollywood studios at the highest level. And then also to the broadcasters in New York at the highest level. So, I wound up knowing all the crews on all the American Airlines flights that went from New York to LA and back because I was just literally having to go back and forth so much. Yeah. But when I came back, we had an incredible opportunity. Sony supported us. I think they were happy that, I didn't go to Panasonic or to, Hitachi or anybody else that was doing HD. But what they did was they allowed us to have the loan of HD TV equipment in that 1989 time period. And it was the same equipment I was traveling all over the place with. So I knew it very, very well as the product manager. We put together our first curriculum. We had our first course in high definition television production in 1989. Yeah. So now we were really in a unique position because our students had more experience than so many professionals on either coast. And so we had this opportunity to get them connected with a lot of companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think about one of your students back in the day, Damon Crump, and how much fun I had interviewing him about what sparked his interest in filmmaking. And now 30 years, I think, Jackalope has been around. I mean, are you proud of him?
Oh, we're proud of him. Oh my gosh, yeah. I bring him in every semester.
Yes, I'll bet.
As my guest cinematographer, guest director, and he is a natural born teacher. So bragging on him is so easy for us to do. Mm-hmm. He is so talented. The fact that he's created his business and maintained it so well and is so sought after here in Waco. I was just so proud for that 3 decades of work that he does. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's remarkable. So you talk about breakthrough work at Sony in high definition. What was it like being a part of that era of knowing, this was something really, really special?
Well, it was very exciting, and it propelled us into all the follow-on technologies or
Yes.
all the, the obvious things that would be next. So HDTV at first was analog, and then it switched to digital systems. And as soon as it switched to digital, we said to each other, hey, now we can edit on computers.
Yeah.
And so we started with that in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there at the SMPTE convention when Avid sold the first Avid editing system
Editing computer, yeah.
to the first person in the United States to buy HDTV
From me.
Wow.
from Korpi.
Look at that.
I know.
And
This is historic.
It's a God
This is oral
thing.
history,
Right.
people.
It's a God thing.
It really,
then-
that too, yeah.
And then the follow-on was Avid's serial number 2, the second system,
Yeah.
was used by Tony Black, my former roommate, the one who we wanted to make films.
Uh-huh.
He became an editor in Washington, D.C. and did many, many PBS shows and Time Life and National Geographic and so on.
Yeah.
But it was the very first long-form documentary. He edited the first long-form anything on the Avid.
Yeah.
It had just been commercials up until that time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to figure out how they get enough storage and how we deal with this. It was a show called Making Sense of the 60s. It was like one of those series.
Oh, it's heralded.
It was like 7 or 8
Amazing.
hours on PBS, something like that. So that just followed on from there, and then it came into how do we send this over the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, the internet. Hey, the internet, we could send audio, we could send
Right.
pictures. How are we going to do that? And we stumbled on Mark Cuban by accident,
Yeah.
and we didn't know anything about him,
Uh-huh.
and that led to the very first football with Frank Fallon.
Very first streaming ever
Very first stream
to be done
ever
of sports.
sports.
Live streaming of sports.
Was with my Frank Fallon.
Yes.
Yeah, and Mark Cuban had AudioNet, which was his company.
Wow.
And it was an interesting story too, because he was talking about his service that he was doing for doctors for continuing education with Johns Hopkins University. So he was recording these. Obviously, digital had been in place by that time, but there wasn't very many people in the audience, and so we just Michael and I became the only two that were left there.
Yeah, people left.
That people left.
And he's speaking.
And we just felt sorry, really, for Mark. So we said, Mark, look, why don't we just go get a cup of coffee in the foyer here? And we've got an idea that we want to talk to you about. And it was streaming sports. And so, I had just, Michael and I had been working very closely with Baylor at large with regards to technology. So I had just become Associate Vice President for Technology Management for Baylor at the time. So that was my very first contract, that we had to kind of put in place to get it to work. And then tell them what happened, Mike. I'll let you tell the story, what happened when we first had the first broadcast.
Yeah, it worked great.
Streaming broadcast.
It
Yeah,
worked
streaming.
great, but we crashed the entire internet for the Western United
I'll
States.
bet you did. Then there's that.
There were quite a few Baylor alumni who tuned in.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, my
and
All
goodness.
over the world.
I-
Missionaries.
Yes.
Outside
What
the country.
an amazing story.
It's really
And
great.
so what was the sporting event? Do you remember? It was
Football.
It was a football game?
It was the
It was a football
entire
game.
season.
Oh, the whole season.
It was the whole
Yeah.
season, yeah. We
Yeah.
did the whole
Yeah,
season.
the first time, they figured out how to keep it from crashing.
And then Mark went ahead and he was Indiana Hoosier,
Yeah.
fan. So he kept it going, right, in terms of basketball. And so then, that
became broadcast.com,
broadcast.com.
which he then sold to Yahoo, which is where he got his money to buy the Mavericks and do
Yes.
HDNet and do
And the
all the other
Rest
all
is
the other
history,
things.
I guess.
I think the exciting thing for us, and this is kind of another mantra we have,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to do this research unless our students could be with us 100%. So I remember when we were talking to Mark, we were sitting down, he goes, well, I've never done this before. And we said, well, would you accept some interns? We had some folks that were dabbling in a whole bunch of things on, what is now called the web, right? The internet. And he said, yeah, I could use them. So they actually stayed with them during the time when they, went public.
Wow.
Yeah, they had
Probably
equity.
multi.
They had equity. They,
Oh, it was a
Rich.
great story.
Mitch Hughes bought his mother a house.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. She worked in the library,
Yeah.
at Baylor, and
Great stories.
Yeah.
We're got to take a break.
Okay.
Got to take a break. But when we come back, I do want to talk about 6P color, because this is a whole brand amazing thing you guys are doing. But today's show is brought to you by Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. They are your friends in the car business. There is more of the show ahead.
It's the 2026 Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, brought to you by the First National Bank of Central Texas. Tour a variety of homes at different price points, plus see the latest trends from beautiful kitchens to outdoor living spaces. See the latest colors and design patterns. This is your chance to walk through homes, meet the builders, and get inspiration for your own projects. The Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, June 5th, 6th, and 7th, and June 13th and 14th. Tickets are available online or at any parade home. For more,
we're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
it's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Alan Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. I said I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we were back with Dr. Michael Korpi and Corey Carbonara talking about the innovations that have come out of the Baylor University School of Film Technology, New Media. I get all the names of it. But the really latest thing that you guys have done has to do with color. So let's talk about what exactly is 6P Color Full Range System. Did I get the full name of it right?
Yeah, full color range.
Full
right?
color range, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, basically our whole world, between film and television and then digital video has been based on the principle of RGB, which is red, green, and blue. So every single screen that we have has an RGB component to it. Those three colors happen to be able to be combined to give us a lot of other colors as well. And when they're mixed correctly, the center of that is really white, right? So we call this an additive color principle. And for years, this is how it worked. And so if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is just give you a connection to something that we talked about before the break, which was Sony. And, when I started at Sony, the very first day, that I was taking the job on, the same day, a man by the name of Gary Mandel had started. He was a genius engineer. He was incredible. And so he stayed with the company. I left. I went back to Baylor. When he retired, he had an idea and called us about it for Mike and I to think about this. And he said, I'm concerned about what's happening with laser projection in theaters. RGB, is still being made to produce all these colors, and lasers are so narrow in their bandwidth of the three colors that are used to make all the others. He was very concerned about trying to think of another way to increase the color fidelity and really provide a greater way to have more robust color. So his idea was to add more colors. And we got involved in this project together.
How
And,
long ago?
This was 2018.
Okay, so it's been a few
And
years.
yeah, and we began to really look at what he had.
Mhm.
And he said, "Do you think Baylor is interested in wanting to take this on?" He said his father said he could probably, give it to Sony and, probably make a good amount of money on it, but Sony might put this on the shelf because it wasn't part of their agenda at the time. And then he said, "Well, why don't you think of a university?" And Gary's response was, well, as soon as he said university, and he lives right in the backyard of Stanford, he said there was only one university that he could really think about doing anything with, and that was Baylor University
All
Film
right.
and Digital Media Department. And so we began to explore how to do that. 3 other colors came to mind, that hence the word 6P, right, is 6 primary colors. So we added the other colors that were made with the triangle that are complementary.
Mhm.
And it started out with looking at cyan, yellow, and magenta. But very early on, as Michael likes to point out, I'll let him point it out right now. Why did we not stay with magenta?
Magenta is not a color in the rainbow. Magenta is, so effectively, it's not a frequency of light. It's not a color.
Really? So it's not
an
close to
illusion.
purple?
It's
sort of?
illusion.
Oh.
No, it's blue plus red.
It's made between the 2 primaries, but it's not its own.
It's not its own
Yeah.
color.
So if you plot color, the most common way is it makes it like an arch.
Okay.
Like one of the McDonald's arches.
Mhm.
That's about the shape. And the flat part of the bottom is where the magenta would be in pink and all
Okay.
those colors.
Yeah.
Well, when you have red, green, and blue, you get a triangle that's within that arch, but you can only recreate the colors that are in the triangle. You're leaving out a lot of colors that the human eye can see.
That we see. Yeah.
That arch is a lot bigger than what the triangle is that's nestled within it.
Right.
Hmm.
And you're never going to be able to use a triangle to get all of it. So when we add additional primaries, then we get a quadrilateral or a pentagon or a
different
hexagon.
shape.
We get shapes that can take up more of the real color. When you go to the movies, that's probably the best picture anybody's seen.
Sure.
That's about 46% of the color that human beings can see. You're leaving out more than 50% of the color.
Hmm. Really?
Now, it's a simulation of reality. We accept
Right. Your
it.
brain is reading it as
Yeah,
reality,
we
I
do.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are a lot more colors. So
Yeah.
for example, you notice this when you go on vacation, say to the Caribbean or Hawaii or someplace. Take pictures of the beach and the
Right.
water.
The water.
Yeah.
And well, first of all, the picture doesn't look as good as
No.
you seeing it.
Mm-mm.
And when you bring it back to show it to people, you have to say, well, you had
It was.
you had
Yeah.
to
The
be
water was
there.
greener than
It
this.
was so
you know?
it was so awesome.
Yeah.
And the astronauts say the same exact thing.
Really.
They take all these pictures and video and from the International Space Station, they come back and they say they never see in any of that what they saw
What
with
they
their
saw
eyes.
with their
The
eyes.
triangle has limited them to what they can
But
see in
they've-
color.
Okay.
We've had an astronaut come to the Baylor research labs, and they looked at our prototype display, and they said, "That's what I saw."
Yeah, it's remarkable. I mean,
That is remarkable.
So really, we like to say that what we've developed is a way to be able to encompass all 100% of all the color that God intended us to see.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things Michael talked about with regards to moving outside the triangle was demonstrated, as he mentioned, by the fact that we had to show and prove how these additional colors can be assembled together. And when we did, we were using footage that the astronauts shot, which was raw footage. What we mean by raw is it hasn't been truncated into a triangle in post-processing for our screens. So because all the color had been there in that particular image, in their motion images, we were able to use that for an experiment, actually, we did with our students. And what happened was the students preferred, obviously, right, the additional colors, and they were getting goosebumps and all of the other things. But just even empirically, they, demonstrated to us that that particular choice was made to have more color. it turns out that the area that we were placing into the cyan region, which is why Michael was talking about the waters, that particular area that we picked of where on that McDonald's arch we were putting the cyan, way outside of the triangle, it happened to be, the specific spot that really turned the brain on in terms of what we see when we go to the Caribbean. So there, we used to think that everything was based on cones for color, rods for black and white.
Right.
So there is this incredible, I call it a superhighway effect, and the retinal ganglion cells that are attached to the eye and processed with the eye really have this sensitivity to this cyan at that particular frequency, and it releases something called melanopsin. And this melanopsin is this cocktail of awe and wonder and alertness and stimulation. And we're never seeing it when we go to the theater. But with 6P color, you can see it. And that's why we got really, excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how is this being kind of commercialized at this point? Tell me about that.
Well, it's at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
So a startup company called 6P Color Inc. was spun out from the Baylor research, and it's developed to where we can. Well, first of all, it's very fortunate that the digital cameras, already capture color that's outside of the triangle. They capture everything.
That's the raw I was talking about.
There you go. Right.
And so we already have content to put on the new system. It's just nobody's ever seen those colors before.
Oh my goodness.
So that's a huge advantage. And then the other thing was we realized, if we have red, green, and blue, and that takes up a certain amount of bits on the internet, to transmit. Now we add 3 more colors or however many. That's going to be twice as much data. We need to change everything. And then we realized, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to define the system by the primaries. We want to design the system by the color location.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do that, we can just do it with 3 numbers, just like you do with RGB. So the bottom line of that is our system's compatible, backwards compatible with all the existing systems. Our signal can go through everything that you would have at the TV station. It's just the monitor that needs a little bit of tweaking with the software to show the best picture it can with whatever primaries it has.
Yeah.
If it has red, green, blue, you'll see a better red, green, blue picture. If you've got 7 primaries on one TV, it'll show the best those 7 will show. If you've got 4 or you got 20, it wouldn't matter. The same amount of data, so it's compatible to all the systems. It just makes it easier for people to adopt.
Mm-hmm.
So the stage that 6P Color is, we can't tell you who they're working with.
Yeah.
But
you'd have to kill me, right? If you don't.
Yeah, but you would if you went into Best Buy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You might.
So we're going to be needing new TVs. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
at some point?
Here's the interesting thing about 6P Color. Because it's an end-to-end system, and I like to call it, Michael and I both say this, from the lens, that brings the image into the camera, all the way back to the display that puts it on the lens of our eye, right? So because we're able to process 100% of all the color that we are intended to see as a function of what grew into full color range, right? That's why we use that term. The interesting thing is we were talking about multi-primaries, and that's wonderful. But we can, and we have seen improvements that we get to make to any RGB display. So yes, if you want a multi-primary display, that's a new set. But you can also utilize 6P Color to make the experience that you have on any RGB set that is out there now, we can make it perform better. And that's one of the key advantages of 6P Color.
Yeah, that's the immediate thing. And that's, we have units that are 4 primary, 6 primary at 6P Color, but most of the displays that they're engineering for now are RGB. or just maximizing their
Yeah.
capabilities.
So it's a wonderful opportunity to rethink color. You know, in the past, the wars were K wars, right? So you had HDTV or 2K, and then 4K came, and then 8K appeared on the scene, you know? But we did not go to that direction of resolution. We went to improving the color and the color response. And so the exciting thing is what started in 2018, now in 2026, it has been phenomenal to see the improvement. We have many, many patents that have been a direct result of the research. And we've also had students that have been working with us over those 8 years as well. And again, you know, our edict is we want our students to have that opportunity to be right inside of the heart of the research. So we're very excited about the future of color.
What is this going to mean for the actual storytelling part of it? How do you think that's going to shape up?
That's the best part, you know. As cinematographers, and really to tell you specifically, we have a wonderful friend of ours who has been involved in this project with us from the beginning, Stephen Poster, ASC. He is one of the most renowned cinematographers in the world, 70 different films. I could give you all the titles, you would know all of them. And so he is so excited about being able to unleash the emotional response that you can now get by going outside the RGB triangle. And the conversation that we usually have is something like, we're going to break the iron triangle open, you know. So this is really where, you know, cinematographers have been so excited about what the future could be.
It gives them so much more options. As soon as you get past three primaries, you only have one combination to make a color. There's only one possibility. But once you have 4 or 5 or 6, there are an infinite number of ways to reproduce any one color, any one spot, any one location. You can create it different ways. So say you just had 4. Well, for most of those color locations, you could recreate them with just 3 and not use any cyan. Or you could even do a black and white movie, black and white presentation of some kind, and you can make those black and white shades with cyan or not. And if you did it with cyan, people would pay more attention and they'd be more emotionally energized. They'd be attracted to that. You can do that with other colors in the spectrum as well. So you can control emotional responses by whether you use that particular color at this time or you don't. You can add it throughout the movie. You could don't use it at the beginning and then use it for the climactic scene. Or there are just all sorts of possibilities for this.
You know, it changes the visual narrative, right? I mean, stories are told and stories start with, let's say, words on a page. You've got an actor that brings that to life through a director. But the director is also in charge of showing where the camera is going to be and what the vision is translated into visual terms. So for us, you know, this is why we're very excited about the future of storytelling. And, you know, the other thing, you know, that Michael was talking about too, is when we decided to not make colors frequencies, you know, on that arch, but rather a data point. It's the intersection of where you would find that specific color as an intersection between data points. And so once it becomes data, then there was no lack of us being able to do 100% of human coloration.
Right, and we can match colors precisely. So that's something that is very difficult to do. So if you've ever been in a department store and they have screens, maybe they're showing cosmetics or the colors of the perfume bottles or something, they never quite match.
Oh, no.
Or the fabrics, they don't look the same. Well, with full color range, we can make them look identical.
Wow.
So we could make an image of the plants on your table here match exactly onto the display.
Right behind it.
So that you could sit here and look at them and be, those are absolutely the same.
So how will you be telling your students to balance these technological advancements with the storytelling, the human part of storytelling?
Well, I think it's all the components that they have as artists, right? So the artistry is the center of this is story. And if you could tell the story with more emotional response because you're using color now in a new way, that's just another dimension that you have as a storyteller. You know, and so the excitement about where stories can take us is really now limitless when you think about the fact that we have another component. We've always had color, but we've expanded it now to create the emotion response, the same way that the script is being translated to give the emotion and the emotional response for audiences, the same way the directing does. You know, now all of these things, combined with music and audio too, we don't want to leave that out, you know.
Yeah, they're integral parts of the story. Yeah,
sound is more than half the picture.
No, yeah, for sure.
But it is a wonderful new horizon of being able to tell stories in very new ways, and color being at the center of the newest way we can do it really just excites us so much, because that we had hoped for, you know, when we started the trek into this way of being able to rethink color.
Yeah, well, with the evolution of the digital cinema and all these innovations in the visual storytelling, what do you hope Baylor's contribution to all that will be, and just how you feel about what Baylor has done to this point?
First of all, I think the students say it best, because they go, hey, Dr. C, does this mean that someday we can walk into a Best Buy and see a 6P logo on one of the boxes?
Or full color range.
Or full color range, or anything else that points you back to. And I wink and I say, that would be a really cool thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
So they're very excited. You know, they are so jazzed about it. And, you know, we continue to work in areas of technology, not just the color area, right? So AI is a whole nother area. Michael has really been wonderful taking the lead on that. We're, you know, adding things now to it, which are looking at how it's being used in filmmaking and sports and in broadcast. All of these different things, and we're really involved in that. We're very, very excited about it. So, you know, if it's new, I think you know us well enough, Ann, to know we're gonna go on that cutting edge. We're not afraid of the cutting edge.
No, indeed.
And Baylor stands to benefit greatly from this.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if this is successful at all, Baylor owns all the patents.
Yes, that's important.
So you don't have the future millionaires because of all your work. It's all going to Baylor, huh?
I'm not holding my breath for that.
Well, you know,
but good for Baylor.
We're part of Baylor's process.
There you go.
As inventors,
bragging rights for sure.
As inventors. So, but it has been a true blessing.
Yes.
And you know, it's really been amazing that you know, Michael and I were just commenting on this last week. You know, we said, you know, if you look at the industry now. In 2018, you know, there was some discussion about multi-primaries going beyond RGB, but it was always, you know, in a very limited capacity. And now, you know, at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, you've got major manufacturers that are introducing multi-primary, you know. So that means that they're looking at being able to add more than RGB to their sets and their processes. And, you know, we looked at each other, we said, yeah, I think that's a direct opportunity for us to say that we did something.
Right. Yeah. And when people from Asia fly to Waco to see things, or from Europe.
Oh, they've been, you know, it's just been remarkable to see where things are at right now with regards to how this is being embraced by our industry.
Well, and how the Film and Digital Media Department has grown.
Yes, yes.
Over the years. It's just, my head is kind of exploding a little bit over this. This is so wonderful to hear, and to get to hear it from you guys, because there's more great things ahead. I mean, as you're looking down the road, you know, as you told me about this watch we'd be wearing, we could talk to like a phone. What's the next thing out there past this? What are you seeing?
I mean, there's so many things that you know, are on the horizon, and in many ways here. virtual reality,
Mm-hmm.
applications of this color can be not just to static or to fixed screens, but can be to environments like VR, for example, or augmented reality, things of that nature. But what's interesting for us is the industry is beginning to acknowledge the way in which consumption is being done. So, for example, we're looking at the Ann Harder show right here, and it is in a basically a 9x16 environment, right? So you have this vertical approach to what you're showing right now as your logo. Well, verticals are things that are equivalent to what's being done with YouTube Shorts, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And now this whole scroll mentality means that there are stories that are being shown to us that are vertical. They're not in that horizontal, approach that I first started with when we looked at Lawrence of Arabia being widescreen. So we're obviously, we're interested in all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for our students? They need to be aware of the changes that are going on in the industry, and so we want to be at the forefront of that too. So those things are continuing to come on the horizon and actually make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. We're always looking for, okay, so what change will be next? So one thing I think will change eventually is this taking the device out of our pocket and looking at it all the time and swiping up and doing all that. That capability, all the things it does, we're going to be able to interact with it without taking anything out of our pocket. It's just going to be.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll have maybe we'll have glasses. Maybe we'll do.
Yeah. Well, they're already talking about the glasses.
We might do sublingual. Sublingual is when you think to say something, but you don't actually say it. It actually goes to the nerves that would say it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have sensors now that can sense what you're saying without you saying it out loud. And other ways that you could interact with, say, glasses,
mm-hmm.
without having to touch them or do any. So we are very interested in any kind of interface, any kind of
Mm-hmm.
way that humans interact with the thing.
That's exactly right.
And those things will change.
Yes.
So right now the vertical videos are a big thing, and one of the things I think is interesting about them is kind of the genres. It's like we're doing the 1915 thing again, Perils of Pauline, and the
it's
little
amazing.
short things with the the cliffhanger at the end, and you got to pay $1 to get the next one, and that's what we're going through now. I don't think that will last a long time.
Yeah,
it's going to be billions of dollars worth of money flowing.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
For the near future. But after that, we're interested in what's next after that.
You were talking about that. It reminded me of a movie from, I think it was around 1980. It was Firefox. Clint Eastwood, he had to just think, but he had to think in Russian, right, to get the missiles to fire without him having to say fire or do something with his fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, it's fascinating what all the innovations that are happening, and the things we won't recognize things probably in 5 or 10 years, right?
Right.
I mean, things are going so fast, but all the work you were doing with Baylor students and with Baylor University, and how you represent the university so beautifully. And I thank you for your time and sharing these stories with me, the Doctors Carbonara and Korpi. It's great. Thank you both.
Oh, and thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
Enjoyed it.
It's
Very much.
It's my joy. Yeah, you'll have to come back. You'll have to come back, because I sense there's a lot more to this story. We just barely scratched the surface.
We would love that.
But thank you. Thank you, Beth. Stay with us. I will tell you today's show is brought to you by Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple. If you're looking to add a touch of elegance and functionality to your home or business, look no further than Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple. Their wide range of window treatments can transform any space. They offer free consultations. They'll work with you to bring your vision to life. Call now and receive 30% off. Kayla is at 254-844-7939. That's call Kayla at 254-7844, I should say, 844-7939. There is more of the show ahead. Stay with us.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
It's our declaration of deals, and savings are moving fast at Allen Samuels Jeep in Waco. Get a 2026 Jeep Wrangler Sport for just $32,990. Or take $10,000 off a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. Or qualified buyers can get 0% APR for 36 months and no payments for 90 days. Don't stand still. Drive today. Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
It's the 2026 Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, brought to you by the First National Bank of Central Texas. Tour a variety of homes at different price points, plus see the latest trends from beautiful kitchens to outdoor living spaces. See the latest colors and design patterns. This is your chance to walk through homes, meet the builders, and get inspiration for your own projects. The Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, June 5th, 6th, and 7th, and June 13th and 14th. Tickets are available online or at any parade home. For more information, go to wacohomeparade.com.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.